on learning to play a very well-known song, Happy Birthday. If you are a piano player, chances are pretty good that at some point someone's going to ask you to accompany a singing group on singing Happy Birthday to someone. Now, I won't talk about the best keys to play it in for this particular lesson. I'm going to concentrate on the easiest one, which is C major, and then once you learn the patterns in C major, you can play it in other keys. So this lesson, this piece requires a knowledge of your primary chord progression in the key of C major. Let me play that again. So this is kind of like the primary colors in our color palette, red, yellow, and blue. When we're talking about chords at the piano, these are all Roman numerals. 1, 4, 1, 5, 7, and 1. So in order to play this with two hands, one must be able to play the chord progression. So in the key of C major, Happy Birthday starts on G. It's the fifth note of the scale. Students may also know that the fifth note of the scale is known as the dominant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the dominant note. First note of the scale is called the tonic. So those two notes are very, very important, whatever key you're in. So C major, Happy Birthday, our melody is going to start on G. Now, I'm just going to play it, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time coaching on what notes to play. If you're really, if you're needing extra help with that, there are other tutorial videos, or you can just sort of zoom in on my fingers and figure it out that way. But this is also, I encourage it to be an exercise in ear training, playing by ear. Stick with it. It might take some people 30 seconds. It might take other people a day or two. But the point is to persevere and stick through it. So we're starting on G. Here's just the melody for Happy Birthday. No frills, nothing fancy, just the melody. All right? So, to add harmony to that, we're going to need our three primary chords. In this case, our 1 chord, C, E, G, 5, 7, B, F, G, 4 chord, C, F, A. Okay? So memorize this pattern. 1, 5, 7, 5, 7, 1. Okay? So that's going to be the first half of our Happy Birthday melody. Now our next part uses the same 2 chords, but we're ordering them and we're putting them in a different order. We also are going to need our 4 chord, C, F, A. Okay? So for the next half of Happy Birthday, we need a 1 chord, 4, 5, 7, and 1. Okay? So I'm now going to start Happy Birthday in the middle. Begins on G, begins on that 5th note of the scale. Okay? So now I'm going to play all 8 measures of Happy Birthday. And I'll talk about a couple of things once I've finished it. I'm still just using block chords only in my left hand, and playing just a no frills melody in the right hand. Sounds pretty basic, and it is. 3 primary chords, you can use those for so many different pieces. When you get to the second half of Happy Birthday, this is the part that always trips people up, both playing it and singing it. We're going the span of an octave. We are reaching 8 notes. An octave is hard to sing, and for some hands, an octave is hard to play. So don't feel like you have to hold onto your thumb and stretch up your 5th finger. If it doesn't fit, if your hand isn't big enough, don't worry about it. Just pick it up and move it, okay? The next measure after that, happy birthday, dear Mrs. Fisher. Do you hear that sound, that clash? You might think, oh, that's gotta be a wrong note. Those don't fit together. But then you play the note right afterwards and oh, that sounds much, much better. This is what we call dissonance. If something is dissonant, it clashes, it doesn't sound right. And then it resolves. We can breathe again. So dissonance is not necessarily a bad thing. We might think, oh, I made a mistake, I played a wrong note, but the composer or the origin of the melody intentionally puts that there so that we can have the resolution. Okay, so once you've mastered Happy Birthday, I would practice the melody first on its own. Don't be too fussy about fingerings. Just know that you have to start on the 5th note, the dominant of whatever key you're playing in, and know your primary chords. Then you can start to get fancy. You can do broken chords in the left hand. You can do a drop bass. There are all different styles of accompaniment at the piano. So if you're feeling really fancy, that might be a little expansive. If you want to play just the harmony and sing the melody, if you're feeling really sassy, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday dear so-and-so, happy birthday to you. And it's fun to play around with a song that's so ingrained in our culture, that's so familiar to us, that we know how it's supposed to sound, right? And you can tell right away when you've stumbled. Plus, it's pretty innocuous. It's pretty, it's just happy birthday. It's not the Moonlight Sonata. So put yourself out there and practice it a little bit. Have fun. And then once you're really comfortable in the key of C, then we can talk about trying other keys that might be easier to sing for everyone. Good luck. Let me know if you have questions in the comments, and I look forward to hearing your personal rendition of Happy Birthday.